Well, hello, Dirtfish Rally friends. Rally Sweden is done. Not dusted, because we do see dust in Sweden, but it's snow dust, isn't it?
It's snow dust. It's festive dust.
So Rally Sweden done and dusted, and what an event we have seen. Let's talk about Elfyn Evans. Let's talk about Toyota Takamoto. We will at some point talk about Kali Rovanperä as well. But Evans, maybe, arguably, one of the most impressive drives of his career. Certainly the most impressive drive we've seen from Elfyn Evans, I think, in the past 2 or 3 years. Why is that? Yes, he's won rallies in the past 2 or 3 years, but he dominated this rally. He really did. He got his nose ahead on Friday, and he managed it beautifully. From a position on the road that a lot of people questioned, he went and did a fantastic job. I thought Elfyn Evans was a level above what we've seen from him recently.
Yeah, and I think a level above the rest as well. And I think it's been ages since we've been able to say that, like you said. Monte Carlo was impressive. We know that.
Yeah.
I guess if OJ wasn't there, Evans would have been the top, scorer of all the full-timers there. This weekend, more of the same. And it's completely different kind of driving style, different conditions, different tyres. So this is a real pattern for me now. There's something about Evans and Elfyn this year it's working. He just looks incredibly confident and happy to attack.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. He hasn't always been happy to attack, I don't think.
Well, if we contrast that to Rovanperä, who is not happy to attack, and why is Rovanperä not happy to attack? Because he's got no confidence in the tyres, the way that they don't suit his driving style. It is quite apparent that Elfyn Evans is not having issues with these tyres. In some ways, maybe they do suit his driving style. Things are coming together. Yeah, the hybrid, he's told us before, he's told us again today, it's the same car, it's the same chassis, it doesn't make a massive difference. But there are little things that are coming together for Elfyn Evans that is once again giving him potentially that title challenging feeling.
And let's not forget, his championship lead now is a staggering 28 points after just 2 rallies, which is incredible. Particularly when you consider second place is still Ogier.
Yeah, so that for me is almost as mad that Ogier is still in second place.
Yeah.
I had to get you to double check that. How can Neuville not be ahead of Ogier? How can well, they're not.
No.
They're not.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend. Obviously a bit of up and down. I think most of it due to the conditions of the road. Of course, a little mishap last night, and then caught napping a bit this morning by Taka, who had an amazing event. But yeah, obviously pretty relieved I managed to pull something out the bag for the penultimate stage, and then hang on to it in the power stage, obviously.
So what did you do between the first and second pass to, I guess, improve the speed? Because you went from being, I think, 5th fastest to quickest by 7 seconds. It was a massive turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, we were pondering in service, panicking a little bit. What are we going to do here? The feeling I had with the front axle was probably the worst I had of the whole rally when I was in the first stage this morning. But we sort of said, look, we've not touched the spanner on this car all weekend, and the conditions will evolve now. And we were debating, do we change something or not? And in the end, we decided no, leave it alone. We know what we've got, and I basically just had to drive it properly, and that was it.
We talked about the competition this weekend, and one man who gave us a huge amount of joy, who really added to that level of competition, was Takamoto Katsuta. Again, we talk about Evans having his best rally in many years. I'm of the firm belief that Takamoto has just had the best rally of his career. It was consistent, it was pacey, it was punchy. He had the confidence to push on this morning and retake the lead. So much worked for Takamoto this weekend. It was really, really great to see.
Yeah, and I think the only disappointing thing is that he didn't win. But for that to be disappointing is a great sign of a great rally, isn't it? The key thing, as you've kind of referenced there, is the consistency throughout the weekend. We've seen he's had the pace before, but this time he's managed to keep the pace all throughout the rally, through all the different conditions, and he's not made a mistake. That is massive, both for his confidence, but in sending a message, I guess, to his management at Toyota as well. Because there was a little bit of reminding throughout the weekend from Jari-Matti Latvo about, I guess, particularly what happened last year with Taka off in a snowbank, but he's put all of that behind him, and it was great to see.
Do you know what? From Toyota's point of view, last year they really struggled. They struggled in the manufacturers because it was generally one driver who was, holding, basically scoring the points, and it was very difficult for them. For Toyota to know that when Rovanperä is struggling, which is a difficult thing to actually say and to believe, but he is struggling, Takamoto is perfectly capable of stepping up and securing those manufacturer points. That's such a boost for Toyota.
It's a very good point. I hadn't actually thought about it like that, but you're right. It's their second 1-2 finish in a long way. I think the lead is about 58 points, 48 points, one of the two. But either way, that they've got a decent
Roundabout,
lead.
somewhere
A
near.
roundabout, that's your trick, isn't it? Somewhere near.
Round about 60-ish points.
But they are comfortably ahead of Hyundai at this early stage of the season. So yeah, great start for them.
Great start. I tell you, I'm absolutely delighted to see Takamoto. He has got, he's built a mental resilience with the troubles that he's had, particularly towards the end of last year, which is great to see.
Callie told us he was really proud of what you've managed to do, and he thinks you're in a really good mindset now. You've got a very clear mind in the way you're approaching things. Would you agree?
Yeah, now, like last year was quite disaster that I was too hungry to take the fast victory or something. I won't, because I felt like I have a quite good speed. Some rally I had a good benefit for road position things. Then I was going too much. Then I already lost the kind of opportunity to take the good result in the beginning of the rally. So basically I was working quite a lot with my engineers and also Tom Fowler, and Seb was also helping a lot. Like you said, Kalle as well. He's one of my best friends also. And and like I said, Seb was always helping me, and we talking quite a lot on the phone. And it's finally it worked one rally like this, and I hope he's also happy. And next time I try to do even better job.
Hey everyone, I'm Eric, senior instructor here at Dirtfish. Welcome to Ice Driving USA. We're here to get you sideways on the ice. Are we talking or are we driving? You'll start your day here on the lake in Wisconsin. First, we'll have you on the slalom course to give you a better understanding of how weight transfer works on the ice. But we're really here for linking corners and getting sideways on some longer courses. Power, check. Grip, double check. All-wheel drive, studded tires, great hospitality, and one amazing frozen lake for a playground. And getting here couldn't be easier. The nearest airport is just 30 minutes away, and we have 1 or 2 day courses available, including an all-women's class. So what are you waiting for? Come join us, and we'll see you on the ice.
While we're on Toyota, we might as well wrap Toyota up by talking about Rovanperä. We won't go into too much detail on Rovanperä because we've talked ad nauseum about it this weekend. But for me, it's a surprise. It's a real surprise. And maybe the shock of the rally was the fact that we expected him to bounce back. He didn't. He looked just as uncomfortable here as he looked in Monte Carlo.
Yeah, it's strange. I think weirdly in that, I think I almost expected this to happen after we spoke to him on Thursday. He seemed almost adamant that the struggle was going to be the same. But yeah,
I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. I thought, yeah, right. You're Cali Rovanperä. It's snow and ice, perfect conditions.
It will come. I think the positive for him, if you take the silver lining, is that these have been 2 events that are very specific. These tyres are not going to be used very much throughout the season. We're going to move to the gravel ones, but that is the key. He has to be able to understand these gravel ones. Otherwise, it could get really difficult for him.
We have a crisis. If he cannot get to grips with those gravel tyres, we have a crisis. But it's not there yet. It's not there yet. But I do like a bit of drama.
I was going to say.
Let's move on. Let's move on to Hyundai. Hyundai introduced a number of upgrades to their car here. They were looking for more consistency. They were looking for more drivability. Ooh, Thierry Neuville wrestled his way into contention this morning, wrestled his way into 3rd place. He does that. He's a fighter. He's a battler. He gets the most out of whatever he is given. But Tanak struggled. Formo looked okay when he was in the car, but overall, I'm not entirely convinced that they're going to be happy with the result of those upgrades.
No, it's interesting. The jury, I guess, is out. It's one rally in.
Yes.
It's important not to read too much into it, but you said it at points throughout the weekend. The driver comments are very similar to what we've heard in the past, which is worrying, isn't it? Yeah. Really, when they've tried to address some of these issues. But I guess more interestingly, they're not bringing the new car to Kenya.
I genuinely, that was a shock. My jaw dropped when I heard that. They're not confident enough in just how strong it is. Basically, they know the old car is strong, which is interesting because it has had lots of issues in Kenya in the past, lots of issues. But they reckon the old car is stronger than the new car, so we'll take the old car to Kenya. What does that say?
I can understand. I can
Really?
understand the logic. I can see where you're coming from. It doesn't send the best message for what they've done, but it's important to remember we keep calling it a new car. It's not new. It's just got some
It's
upgrades.
upgrades.
So
Four or five
four
upgrades.
four jokers I think
Jokers
spent
played.
on it, but yeah, it's not a complete revolution, sorry, of what they had.
Certainly
before,
wasn't a revelation.
No, probably not. No.
No, I'd have to say, I don't think they can be happy. I don't think they can be happy. And yet, it is a specific rally. It is one rally into this new car's career, if you like. But it didn't do what it was supposed to do. It didn't give the drivers the confidence. Tanak has gone back to being, fair to say, fairly grumpy, a little bit miserable, because he didn't get what he wanted yesterday. That's the new car not performing for Tanak.
See,
Job to do.
I'd argue the other way, and in the Tanak issue, we still don't know what the issue was, where he had some kind of liquid issue and then they had to go down in engine mapping. Could that have happened with the older car? I think probably.
Yeah,
So
probably. You can never build a completely bulletproof car, but I don't know. I'm maybe being a little harsh on Hyundai, but I think it was a difficult weekend for them.
Struggling here and there still a little bit with some balance, and I think maybe a bit of the tire degradation and the feeling wasn't there yet 100%, even if it improved during the weekend. Things were not perfect, and it seems like for Elfyn and even Taka it has been better than for us.
So is that a situation that's always been the case? Was that related to the new car? What can you put that down to?
No, I think it's more related to the tire overall. In the short stages we have been really fast, and I felt also comfortable with the balance, but as soon as the stage were a bit longer, I start struggling, and especially in the high-speed section as well. So we will investigate. I was using a bit stronger diff than my teammates. Maybe it was a bit too strong for some faster sections, but it worked well in many other places. So I don't know. It's maybe a combination of both with the tires. So.
Let's move on to M Sport. Great to see Sex back. Great to see Joe Lane continuing with his learning. And do you know what? Gregoire Munster, look at the times and you think, but Munster did a job out there as well this weekend. Maybe not quite where they wanted, but I think there are massive positives. For me, the biggest positives was that battle between Sesks and Pirate.
Yeah.
Sesks, he won it. He won that fight. There's no question he won that fight. For me, that was a huge positive, and Macalane was a huge positive. A lot to go forward with, a lot to build on for M Sports.
Yeah, I'd agree, particularly with Sesk. I think it was a bit of a question mark over what he could do, but very mature performance, very fast performance as well. And as you say, Macalane, quicker than we expected, so great to see.
Yeah, really great to see. Now, in WRC 2, I suppose maybe the most predictable result of the weekend, and it's a shame because he was brilliant again. Oliver Solberg dominated WRC 2. He didn't win every stage, but that's because he was learning to manage victories. He's learning to manage rallies these days. But no one was going to get near him, and they didn't get near him, really.
No, pretty much. It's hard to think of what else to add to that. But you're right, I think it is a shame that we almost can't see how well he's driving just now, because he's not always against the same drivers in WRC 2. I know that's a completely separate debate, but yeah, I think the quality of performance, particularly here, he played down the idea of being under pressure, but when you've won it twice before, it's your home rally, everyone expected him to win. Anything less than that would have been seen as a failure, so
Absolutely.
He did the job completely. Well
Fabulous stuff, Oliver Solberg. Many congratulations. And I'm going to just indulge myself and say many congratulations as well to Taylor Gill winning the Junior WRC, an Australian winning on snow and ice. Wonderful stuff.
Indeed, and congratulations, we should say, to Claire Schonborn as well, who has been selected as the Beyond Rally Women's Driver Development Programme winner, meaning she will do the remaining 4 rounds of Junior WRC as well.
Yeah, that was a wonderful battle to watch all weekend. It really was. Now, folks, don't forget what Dirtfish is all about. Dirtfish is primarily and at its heart a driving school. We don't just teach you how to drive on gravel. We can teach you how to drive on the snow and ice. We run a ice driving school in Wisconsin. Now, if you want to know more about that, take a look at dirtfish.com. You will find the details there. But once again, folks, Rally Sweden has delivered. It is a very special round of the World Rally Championship. We do love coming here. We do love the competition. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage here this week, folks. 6 more weeks until we head to Kenya. Can't wait until a Rally Kenya, the Safari Rally, returns to the calendar. We'll see you all there.